Hey everyone, it's Rabbi Shmuel Pollan. We're going to continue on in the truth about blank. We did the truth about the truth and the truth about Elon Musk. And now we're going to do the truth about Sadhguru. And if you haven't heard of Sadhguru, you are living under a very large rock because he has billions of views on YouTube. He's a sensation throughout India and throughout the world. He currently has a movement called Save Soil, which has logos and songs and social media presence. They're on Twitter, they're on Instagram, they're everywhere. Chatting about the soil because the soil does not have enough organic content. It needs to have at least 3% according to Sadhguru, and I believe him. And I know he's spoken about this with many people in the UN, the Geneva Convention. He's taken a motorcycle all over Europe and is speaking at all these events where people are greeting him with much fanfare. And he's doing a very important job. From what I understand from him and from other people that I've spoken to, there is a problem with the soil, and we will all die if we do not fix it. We will all die because there will be desertification. You'll not be able to grow in the land because it doesn't have enough organic content, and that will be the end of us. And he is trying to save the world, basically, and he is saving the world. He's doing an amazing thing. He's putting a tremendous amount of effort, sweat, tears into solving this problem, and I definitely support his suggestion that we put a label on the fruit, on the vegetable, which tells us how much organic content this fruit or vegetable was grown in. And in this way, we can charge people more money, but give them more nutrition. They don't have to eat as many zucchinis as everybody else because they got the high organic content. Now, what else is he about? So he's not just about soil, he's about a lot of wisdom. He has tremendous wisdom, which I assume he gets from Hinduism. And I also happen to know that Hinduism gets a lot of its wisdom from Judaism because Abraham sent his son Ishmael to the east, and our commentaries explain that he sent him the mystical truths, or which are the truths of Hinduism, came from Abraham, who spent his life fighting against idol worship. So it's very ironic and very sad that his wisdom was taken and used for a purpose that is nothing like what he wanted, the exact opposite of what he wanted. That's what we'll talk about in the next section. But first I want to talk about his take on consciousness because that is hugely important. We in Judaism call it the essence or the soul, and he's calling it consciousness. But the idea is the same. And that is that you can do things consciously or you cannot do things unconsciously. You can move your arm consciously or you cannot move your arm consciously. And therefore, since you can do anything consciously that you want, you are able to control your emotions. You can decide to be happy. You can decide to be sad. You can decide that you can do whatever you want to do. You can be inspired or not be inspired by the same exact thing. It could be the same thing, but one person is inspired by it, one person thinks it's stupid or lame, and this is consciousness, and it's the soul, and it's the essence, and it allows you to do absolutely anything that you want, which is what hopefully your mother or father taught you, that you can be anything, you can do anything. And this is a very important point that people need to know to break out of their hang-ups, to break out of their limitations, to break out of their personal Egypt, as we would call it in Judaism. But I submit to you that in certain respects it's very dishonest, and I speak about the idea of what he believes about God. So everybody wants to know what you believe about God. Why? Because it tells you how you think. It tells you if we should listen to you or not. And people often ask Sadhguru if he believes in God, and he won't give them a straight answer. Why won't he give them a straight answer? Well, I think it's because he's a little bit embarrassed about what he actually believes. Because we know who he is. We know what he believes. Because he built the Adiyogi Shiva steel statue that's like 100 meters high, and it is the biggest statue with the biggest idol in all of India, in all of the world, in the Guinness Book of World Records, for God's sake. This man is 100% a Hindu. He's 100% an idol worshiper. He worships that idol, or else he wouldn't have it. Why does he have a huge statue of Shiva if he doesn't worship it? Hindus worship idols. Sadhguru worships idols. And it's not very intelligent to tell people, it doesn't sound very intelligent to tell people that you worship idols, because everybody knows that idols can't do anything. Idols just sit there. They have no ears, they have no hearing, they have no eyes, they have no seeing, they have no smelling. They cannot answer your prayers. So why do you ask them to answer your prayers? Would you go to, if you wanted access to a certain bridge, let's say, or you wanted access to a palace, let's say, You would go to some farmer who has absolutely no access to that palace. Would you ask him, please give me the key? No, you wouldn't. Obviously not. You'd go to the person who has the ability to answer your prayer. And who has the ability to answer your prayer? Well, first of all, you might want to check in with the person who has the consciousness, because the consciousness that you're so familiar with would be a person that would grant your prayers. So if you want to ask other people for things that you want, go right ahead. But I think it's even smarter, because things don't come out of nowhere, to find out where the consciousness came from and actually ask God, ask the creator of everything for your need. That's who you should worship. That's the only thing that you should worship. And that is the story of Abraham. Abraham destroyed his father's idols. He got everybody to convert to Judaism, which was monotheism, instead of worshiping idols. He was thrown into a fiery furnace by Nimrod, and he survived. And it's an unbelievable story. And that's the story of history, is that the Jews, holding on to that firm faith in one true God against all others who were worshiping many gods, which includes worshiping money, worshiping your spouse, letting them control you. Anything that controls you, that drags you down, is a form of idol worship. And it's the first commandment in the 10 Commandments not to worship other gods, to only have one God, to be a unified person that can do anything and only believe in the truth that is anything, the truth of God, the truth of one God. That's the only thing we should believe in, and that's what's going to make your life unite. It's going to make you more harmonious. It's going to make you more feel like everything is falling into place and falling together. When you worship one God, that's what you feel. When you worship many gods, you feel disjointed. You feel like you're connecting with the external parts of yourself instead of the inner strength that you have inside. Idols can't do anything. Crystals can't do anything. Anything that's inanimate cannot do anything. You're only fooling yourself if you think that crystals heal you. What you're really getting is the placebo effect. You think it heals you, so that heals you, but the crystal itself does not heal you at all, and idols do not do anything at all. They just sit there. So it's important in relations between one religion and another that we understand that we should not be converting each other. And I'm not trying to convert you, and you shouldn't be trying to convert me. And conversion just doesn't work well. It's never worked in all of history. It's never worked throughout all of society. It just doesn't work. The approach from one religion to another should be to find common ground. And we can meet on common ground. We can meet on the idea of soil rejuvenation. And we can meet on the idea of consciousness. But we should separate on the idea of idol worship. And I hope people will, to some extent, come closer to God and further away from idols. And together, through finding common ground and bringing true peace to the world, we will enjoy a paradise in this world and the next with the Messiah today.